Good morning. Today is April, I believe, 28th, Sunday. We finished Shabbat yesterday. We're still in Kol Moed Pesach. 3 more days to Pesach. We're counting Omer. And we continue on Tanya, PracticalTanya, where lesson 43, chapter 43. Our lesson, I don't remember, it's marked in the video, but today talked about interesting things. How can the practical, we started at the beginning, and for 43 chapters we've been developing the idea, how can Tanya, esoteric values of Tanya, help a person's today's issue, health, finances, family, and so forth. So, chapter 43 now talks about how that in order to get yourself to the level that can kick in, you have to go through stages. It says emotional maturity follows a process. For there must be a lower reference which will inspire Torah observance. So you first have to say, listen, I got to do something. I have to go to the synagogue sometimes, and I don't know anything about prayers. I don't know anything about customs. But let me start. And then that lower level of, but I'm Jew. I kind of haven't been to the synagogue for 20 years. Maybe I should visit one day. So the person does that. That's initial inner feeling for the respect for your Jewish identity, and then that which will inspire Torah observance, and then opens up further possibility of reaching, quote, higher reference. And it says you can't skip levels because one builds on the other. And sometimes people make mistakes. All of a sudden they become from non-religious, non-observant to 180 degrees opposite, become holier than thou, and tell everybody else how to observe mitzvot, what halacha, what this, what that. And the person doesn't really know much about it. So you have to go slowly to get there. Once you get there, you can attach yourself then. We talked about the soul, attachments to the divine, so the highest sphera. The highest sphera of the 10 is Chokhmah. And you go through Chokhmah from one level to another until you actually get closer to this divine light. And then mitzvot, your studying of the Torah gets your soul up there. Your mitzvot, accents, by doing something, by doing the prayer, putting tefillin, putting talis, helping the old lady cross the street, bringing soup to somebody who just came from the hospital, and taking care of this person. That gets you one with light. That's why unity, non-duality of God is what Tanya is talking about. Tanya says it's impossible to attain this higher reverence and chokhmah, conscience, without the observing Torah and mitzvot. So when we talk about now issues, like everybody has issues. Let's say somebody doesn't, let's say the parent, mother or father, don't get calls, don't get telephone calls for their children. I mean, children grown up, let's say children in their 40s or something, and they have grandchildren, and they live maybe long distance. Maybe parents live in New York and children move to Los Angeles, and they want to see them more often. But children have their own life, and they don't hate the parents, although sometimes we wonder. And but they say, listen, we have our own kids who have life, we have work, we have to go skiing, we have to play in golf, we have to tour, we have to do this, we have to play basketball, we have to work, we have to make proposals for our jobs, and we're so busy. We're buying the house, buying a refrigerator, a new car, we don't have time for you. I will call you once in a while, maybe on vacation, we will call you. So how does the person praying to God can change that? With the Torah, one of the commandments is honor your father and mother. And it goes right after honoring God. So Talmud equates honoring father and mother to honoring God. So if somebody doesn't honor God, why do you expect him or her to honor father and mother? So how does the person on the receiving end, that father or mother that's yet yearning for that love, for what he or she thinks missing in his or her life, how does the person get there? By learning Tanya. How do you get it from learning Tanya? Many people will say, well, you can pray all you want, but the real world is not like that. Well, that's a natural reaction. So this is what Tanya does. And I make like a little illustration. Let's say this is, let's say you see a circle. That circle is what, let's say, the person wants, what I want. What I want in life. My divine soul and animal soul together, what they want. I want to have health. I want my wife to love me. I want my kids to be respectful, to show reverence and love to the parents. Not just love me, but show it to me. Be interested, to visit, to call, to participate, to become the family, to be the family. And I want to have my good job, I want to have good salary, I want to have a house and a lawn and a fountain behind it. So let's say you want certain material things from the world and you want spiritual things from the world. But life is such that you get only a portion of that. Let's say this circle. Let's see if you can see it. The big circle is what you want, and the little circle, yellowed, is what you get. And everybody has a different, some people have entire circle, some people have very little. Some people feel they almost have nothing. Very rare occasions, some people very. When people have combination of bad health, no family, and no money, those three combinations together is very devastating. That's where community has to kick in and help. Community has to put down the Talmud studies and put down Torah class and address itself to help that person or this person. Usually not many of them in any community, they have all three: horrible health, horrible financial situation, no family to support. If at least one of these issues is present, it's still a very bad situation, but not as horrible as when all three are missing. So the person has a very limited area, the yellow one. And the cross-hatched area, the hatched area, you can see there, is the area that's missing. And that's relevant to observant people, religious people, non-religious people, people on political extreme right, people on political extreme left, and anywhere in between. That's a typical issue a person, regardless of the religious, political, man or woman affiliation, may experience in life. We hope to enhance, open up that window, but sometimes circumstances, because of what person did, or because a person didn't do, or because a person says, I don't know, I think I did everything good in my life, and why do I suffer? Why good people suffer? That's eternal questions. So whatever that window is, that's why it happens. We'll discuss it next time. But if you can move, if you can use, this is what you can use, the Tanya methods, even though if this window is very small, but if you attach yourself to God through that, even if you're not a religious person, and if somebody is watching me this session, recording, non-religious, say, well, it's not for me. Well, it's for you too. If you don't believe in God, well, you don't believe in God, but if you use these methods, it can make your life better. It can make your life, the life of your loved ones better. You reunite your family. It can help you with a better job. It can help you with your finances. It can help you with health. It helps you with many things. So by learning, by starting to do something. If you don't believe in God, if you're Jewish, learn Torah at least for the history. What happened? It's interesting. How old was Abraham? How many years ago was that? Who was Samson and Delilah, David and Goliath? When was Torah actually written? Controversy. Some people say, well, Moses didn't write it. Well, if some people believe he didn't write it, who did? Look into this issue. It's very interesting. Go to talk to a rabbi, go to the classes, sit down. Even you're completely non-religious, but if you're Jewish, if there's a spark of Judaism in your soul, apply it. If you're busy working and changing spark plugs in your car all day long, and working in your garage and making projects, or if you're a busy doctor and all you do is just helping other people, which is very, very good. It's a lot of mitzvot you do. But take a little bit of your time, maybe half an hour a week, and sit in class or for an hour and study something. And then you can see if it will help. If that circle, if that area will begin to increase, and then there's some other things that will kick in outside the circles that will recompense you for what you're missing. Maybe it will work, you would say. Maybe it wouldn't. But you'll never know if you don't try. There is a joke, I think I mentioned before, how completely non-religious guy is sitting at home and he doesn't feel good, he get a flu or he had a cold or something. Then all of a sudden the ceiling opens up and the God sticks his head and he says, this is of course allegorical thing, and he says, listen, I know you don't feel good, take 2 aspirins. And the guy said, I don't believe in you, I don't believe in God, what are you talking about? And God says, that's okay, you don't have to believe or not believe, just take 2 aspirins. Then you feel better. So take this to heed. Try to apply Tanya methods of Chokhmah Bin Hadad, infinite light, to develop your animal soul that has a garment of action. Then your soul that have a garment that will learn in previous lessons for like 60-some lessons now. You can review them. They're all online. Click on this and review it. Previous lessons. The garment of thought and speech. And then pre-thought and speech and pre-action. Pre-thought, speech, and action. Pre-thought, it's a feeling of chokhmah, something that Tanya basically says, your connection through chokhmah to the divine goes through the, how does Tanya puts it? It goes through the, like, through your brain, not through the heart necessarily, but through the brain. As Tanya referred to that here, Chokhmah does not analyze a situation. It simply sees things the way they are, using the mind's eye, in quotes. Mind's eye. Doesn't it really strike you that really Indian, like a yoga philosophy? The eye, they show the eye in the brain, like Indians. I'm not sure it's Hindus or, now the Brahmins, they put like little dots. Women put dots in their foreheads. That's the third eye. And then you look in the Torah, when Abraham, according to the Torah in Genesis, Torah sent Abraham from his second wife, Keturah, after Sarah died. He had 6 more kids. He had Ishmael and Isaac with Sarah. Then Sarah died. He had 6 more with Keturah. And Keturah is the same that he had Ishmael with. So those 6 children, when it was time to separate, to make a 2-state solution, so to speak, he sent those other 6 to the east. And if you think about, like, if those of you had Indian background, the Brahmins, the Indian Brahmins, the priests of, I don't remember, it's a Hindu or another one, yogas, something. Sorry, I forget the name, the particular clan or religious denomination that Brahmins belong to. But the word Brahmin, Abraham, Brahmin, those are the followers, descendants of Abraham's children. So Abraham was very much into Kabbalah also. He wrote the book, Sefer Yetzirah, very Kabbalistic. And the third eye, the eye that doesn't see but feels through the mind connection through God, through Chokhmah, is what entire humanity is essentially capable of. In Judaism, that concept is Kabbalistic. In Hinduism is concept there. In all of them, and of course, Christianity and Islam, which are outshots of Judaism, has Judaism as a background, and they have the same concept in it. Not always we talked about it because it's too esoteric for day-to-day life, for day-to-day activities, going to work and taking care of the family, the kids and whatnot. But using your third eye, using your chokhmah to connect to the divine, whether you're religious or not, thank God and please God will help you solve your particular problem. And maybe the phone will ring and your son hasn't been in contact very much. Will say, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't think I neglected you, but now I realize that. Here, talk to your granddaughter. Tell her a story. Talk to your grandson. Tell him a story. He likes to hear from you. He likes to know you. You want to know you. By circumstances perhaps beyond our control, perhaps somewhat by our control, we end up living in different places. I wish ideally we all were one unit together. Parents, grandparents, children, grandchildren, as the family is supposed to live. But the Western world and the present reality is such that not always it happens. Maybe we come back to our roots, to our fundamentals, to restore that unity. But as long as certain forces within me, within you, created the situations, what can you do even now, even in these circumstances, to mitigate this effect? Like this particular issue I'm talking about, let's say, having more contact, let's say once a week, have 1 hour Zoom sessions. Or let's say a couple of days, make a call for 2 minutes on the way to work. Hey mom, I'm just driving to work here. Just want to say hi. I don't have much time. I'm going to a business meeting, but just want to say hi. Okay, great then. Thank you very much. Love you. Love you. Talk to you later. Okay? 15 seconds. Didn't take long. That is your chokhmah. That is your mind through heart. That's your connection. You talk. Not only your thoughts, not only your speech, but now your action. You love your parent, but you can show it more by actually doing something that the parent needs. Yes, it's perhaps selfish. The parent wants that love. It is selfish. But why not to give this love to somebody who needs it, regardless judging whether he deserves it or not, or she. That's just today we discuss one particular issue and see how it helps. If you, the watcher of this recording, relate to that, think about another issue, maybe your problem, maybe you have a financial issues, and how you go from one job to another job to another job, and you get fired, or you don't get satisfaction from it, and you're thinking, how can I help it? Would religion help me? No, it wouldn't help me. It's just rabbi's talk. Well, maybe not. Test it. And if you test it, it doesn't initially kick in, don't give up. The Talmud says, if you try something for 400 times, and if it doesn't work, Western mentality says the stupidity something is that you try the same thing that fails and you keep doing it. Well, that's not necessarily stupidity. Talmud doesn't agree with that. Talmud says if you try something 400 times, and if it doesn't work, do it 401. Then you can say, what happens if it doesn't work in 401? You know the answer. 402. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. We'll talk tomorrow, Monday morning. Try it. And let God help you. Even if you're completely not religious. Let God help you. Amen.